In the beginning of the Tale of Red Rock, Milarepa is absorbed in practicing his meditation and suddenly feels pangs of hunger. He interrupts his meditation in order to look for food and notices that he has nothing left in the cave. He goes out for fuel and food, collects some twigs, and is confronted by a sudden storm. He tries to hold on to his rope, and the wood is blown away. He tries to clutch the wood, and the rope is blown away. Frustrated, he becomes aware that he is not rid of ego clinging, even though he has been living in solitude for a long time, practicing the Dharma. Having become aware of his ego clinging, Milarepa is critical of himself. What is the use of practicing Dharma if one cannot subdue ego clinging? To Milarepa, there is a glaring incongruity in devoting time and effort to meditating on the non-existence of the substance of beings, the ungraspable nature of all existence, yet grasping things. He instantaneously decides to let the wind do what it will, blow away his rope, blow away the wood. When the storm is over, Milarepa sees a shred of his clothing swaying on a branch of a tree. The ephemeral quality of the cloth offers itself to Milarepa as a symbol of the trifling quality of the world, the meaninglessness and uselessness of worldly concerns. He realizes anew the utter futility of this world and all its affairs, and responds by renouncing again his attachment to the things of the world. This reaffirmation is another step towards nirvana, the supreme peace that is the goal of Buddhism. Milarepa returns to his meditation, but is soon distracted by thoughts of his guru, Marpa, and Marpa's wife. He has been living in a cave for a long time alone, yet accompanied by the continued internalized presence of Marpa, which has helped him in his solitude, supporting his practices of renunciation. Now he is tormented by the absence of Marpa's physical presence. The internalized presence is not enough, a state induced by the new level of his spiritual development. He pleads for Marpa's support and to conjure him up sings Thoughts of My Guru, in which he expresses intense suffering. Though in my deepest faith and veneration I have never been apart from you, I am now tortured by my need to see you. This fervent longing agonizes me. This great torment suffocates me. Pray, my gracious Guru, relieve me from this torment. Milarepa was initially sent into solitude by Marpa as a way of reaching deeper into himself, into his attachments and longings, and to strengthen his commitment to the Buddhist goal of liberation. The practice of solitude creates an increased capacity to rely upon his own resources for his spiritual growth and eventually to help others in their spiritual development. In his song to Marpa, Milarepa is praying for help as another means of gathering strength for the battle against destructiveness. Marpa responds to Milarepa's pleading. He appears to him on a cluster of rainbow clouds and is quick to judge his longing as rooted in experience of doubt and destructiveness. Non-dharmic thoughts originating in the belief in the reality of the substance of things and the desire to attain them. In response to Milarepa's call for his support, Marpa admonishes, "Why do you struggle so? Have you not an abiding faith in your Guru and patron Buddha? Does the outer world attract you with disturbing thoughts? Do fear and longing sap your strength?" Marpa reminds Milarepa that he is always with him, providing encouragement for his continued efforts in pursuing his goal. No matter what the cause, you may be certain that we will never part. Thus, for the sake of the Dharma and the welfare of sentient beings, continue your meditation. Milarepa is stirred by Marpa's words and the vision of his countenance. Having perceived the good object outside himself, he now experiences it inside himself. His compassionate blessings enter me. All destructive thoughts are banished. Milarepa returns to his path and reminds himself of the value of his goal. As an act of gratitude to his guru, he offers him his unconquerable steadfastness. Indomitable perseverance is the highest offering to my guru. Milarepa consolidates his resolve by making further declarations. Enduring the hardship of meditation is the best way to please him, and abiding alone in the cave is the noblest service to the Dakinis. He prays to Marpa to help him stay in the hermitage. Pray, pity me, and grant me your protection. The good object is reinstated simultaneously with an experience of gratitude and an expression of that gratitude and of homage to a teacher and spiritual director. Milarepa acknowledges that he owes his strength to the support that Marpa has given him during this time. Father Guru, who conquered the 4 demons, I bow to you, Marpa, the translator. Though demons, ghosts, and devils multiply, I am not afraid. The value of calling on good companions appears in other songs. Milarepa makes contact with other benign psychic presences, which help him build and strengthen confidence in his goodness. In the Song of Good Companions, he lists 120 good companions, beginning with his gurus, whom he likens to a string of jewels. He has 3 companions for prayer: the gurus, patron Buddhas, and Dakinis, and among others, he has companions for refuge, for learning, for practice, for meditation, and for escorts through whom to conquer hindrances. In the Holy Gambopa, Milarepa's foremost disciple, Milarepa teaches how to call forth the companionship of one's guru. Visualize him upon your head and for his blessing pray. Visualize him sitting in the center of your heart and forget him never. Milarepa refers to his spiritual family as additional mental supports. His father is the all-perfect one, his aunt the lamp of illumination. We now return to the tale of Red Rock. Milarepa, having fortified his determination by praying to Marpa, returns to his cave to meditate and meditate again. He is exalted. This happy experience, however, does not last. He is startled to find 5 Indian demons with eyes as large as saucers. It is significant that the demons appear to him after he has achieved some measure of success in his meditation. Milarepa assumes that the demons are benign. 1 was sitting on his bed and preaching. 2 were listening to the sermon. Another was preparing and offering food. And the last was studying Milarepa's books. Thinking that these demons must be magical apparitions of the local deities who dislike him for neglecting to give them any offering or compliment, he placates them with a song describing the beauty and serenity of their province, suggesting that they drink the nectar of kindness and compassion and live. Milarepa either finds the appearance of demons in his cave so painful to accept that he purposely induces the belief that it is not so, or in an innocent type of self-deception, he believes the apparitions of local deities to be what they appear. As we noted, Milarepa suggests that the demons live. The demons not only do not live, but they manifest their true nature. Two of them advanced, one grimacing and biting his lower lip, and the other grinding his teeth horribly. A third, coming up behind, gave a violent, malicious laugh and shouted loudly as they all tried to frighten Milarepa with fearful grimaces and gestures. Milarepa meditates and recites a powerful incantation to remove these malevolent demons, but they do not leave. He preaches the Dharma to them with great compassion, but to no avail. Milarepa sees the demons as invaders. He disavows his responsibility for them. This disavowal is analogous to the psychoanalytic disavowal of one's badness. Though he has progressed far in his spiritual development, Milarepa is not ready to acknowledge that the demons are his. To do so would have required relinquishing the affirmation of his personal identity as a good object. After attempting to get rid of the demons outwardly, Milarepa is struck anew by the realization that all struggles take place in one's mind. I have already fully realized that all beings and all phenomena are of one's own mind. The mind itself is a transparency of voidness. What, therefore, is the use of all this, and how foolish I am to try to dispel these manifestations physically? In a shift similar to the way he experienced the good object, Milarepa turns his focus of attention from what appears to be the enemy to the actual enemy, the one within. This change of focus occurs after he has exhausted all his means of removing the external obstacles to his practice of meditation, and after he has called upon Marpa and internalized him. Reinstating the good object and the security it restores, confidence in his goodness and in his skills, allows Milarepa to admit that his demons are his own. When Milarepa realizes that the demons exist in his mind, he is undaunted. He sings the song of realization, emphasizing his fearlessness and proclaiming his devotion to Buddhist teachings, remaining true to his nature like the eagle that never falls down from the sky. After all, he has dedicated his life to eradicating the demons within. Nevertheless, Milarepa playfully invites them to battle with him, and he rushes straight at them as if he still thinks they exist outside of himself. Now it is the demons who are frightened. They shrink back, rolling their eyes in despair, trembling violently. Swirling together like a whirlpool, they merge into one and vanish. Milarepa has completed the hard work of conquering the demons in his mind, and he reestablishes his identity as someone who from birth has been suffused with Buddhist teachings. Then comes an afterthought, a moment of quietude in which Milarepa's conscience rewards him. He succeeds in identifying his distraction by name. This was the Demon King, Vinayaka, the obstacle maker, who came searching for evil opportunities. He thought the storm too is undoubtedly his creation. With deference and gratitude to Marpa, he recognizes Marpa's hand in preventing harm. He thereafter gains immeasurable spiritual progress. It may be argued that in the first part of his life, Milarepa is paranoid schizoid, having been fearful of internal persecutors and subsequently projecting his badness onto an outside object. He is dominated and damaged by this object. With the help of Marpa and his wife, figures who helped Milarepa reconnect with his original good object, he has transformed his paranoid schizoid personality to a schizoid one, still separated from his bad parts indicated by the fact that he experiences them as objects of conquest. Rushing at the demons, mocking and belittling them and conquering them could be said to indicate a manic solution, evidence of disavowing one's badness, a resolution short of the integration that belongs to the depressive position in which there is a progression from guilt and concern to reparation. From the Buddhist perspective, however, the practice includes consciously engaging in a physical as well as a mental activity. Milarepa often crosses the boundaries between the inside and outside of himself, creating a constant tension and interaction between the two. His goal is to achieve the realization that his hindrances are but a shadow show and to remove them as obstacles. Rushing at the demons until they vanish is a portrayal of that practice, albeit a primitive one. As Milarepa progresses, he becomes more skillful in realizing that demons and manifestations in the cosmos are created by himself. Fictions conjured up by mind, manifest yet non-existent. In the song The Goddess Serinma's Attack, Milarepa again is visited by demons. The 18 great demons, leading all the ghosts and spirits in the whole universe, came to attack him in order to hinder his devotion. Milarepa does not succumb to his first impression of them, enabling him to assess them correctly and objectively. He immediately realizes their nature and their purpose. The ghosts and devas in the realms of form are all assembled here. None is left out. Most eminent among them are the 5 female demons, who into dread and hideous shapes have turned. They have come to hinder my devotion and seek occasion to distract me. I see a demoness grin like a skeleton and lift up Mount Sumeru. I see a red one put out her tongue, which drips with blood, and swallow the ocean waters. Demons attempt to lure Milarepa, the spiritual pilgrim, to the manifest world, knowing that generally they can exploit human attachment to it. They believe they can undermine his reliance on benign mental companions. They attempt to sow seeds of confusion in his mind about the value of his commitment. Milarepa hears them laughing. Ha ha! The foundation of his wisdom is collapsing. Milarepa is not shaken by the demon's appearance. He knows what to do. Summon the guards of Dharma to protect and help him. He prays to supporting figures such as the patron Buddha, his gurus, and the wrathful deities, his mental army, to destroy the nets and snares of the demons. The demons take this to mean that Milarepa has lost his peace of mind, and they test his achievement in yoga by singing the proclamation of the hindrances in which they insult and threaten him. Milarepa's intense determination and devotion, the extreme seriousness with which he meditates, is matched by an intense and ferocious attack. The demons deride his place of meditation as dark and perilous, a lonely path, difficult and hazardous, and attempt to dissuade him from staying there by pointing out that he will proceed along without companions. Milarepa once again refers to the demons as conjurations of his own mind. The fact that he has conjured them up indicates that they are his own inner obstructions. He recalls that unlike his own mind, the nature of mind is the illuminating essence, and that these demons are not part of this indestructible nature. Milarepa consolidates his realization that demons are delusory and therefore non-threatening, a sample of the illusory nature of existence in general. All life is transient and changeable. The perception of the afflictor and the afflicted is as delusory as clouds, mist, and flickering mirages seen through impaired eyes. These delusory visions are like veils created by wavering thoughts, which themselves have been produced by habitual thinking derived from original blindness since beginningless time in samsara. When the demons become aware of Milarepa's resolve, they regret their attempts to distract him and sing to him about his merits. Milarepa has converted them. The demons warn him against further possible demonic attractions and distractions. Milarepa points out that demonic obstacles are not entirely evil and stresses that yogis use them as opportunities for growth. He now makes use of demons as supports to build his strength, helping him reaffirm the value of his path, orienting him to the need to counter his own destructive thoughts. He likens demonic obstacles to a crack of a horsewhip, stimulants for indolent beginners. For enlightened practitioners, demons are guardians of Buddha's teachings. The malignant male and female demons who create myriad troubles and obstructions seem real before one has enlightenment, but when one realizes their nature truly, they become protectors of the Dharma, and by their help and freely given assistance, one attains to numerous accomplishments. Milarepa has transformed malignant demons into aids for spiritual growth. Another example of the transformation of demons appears in the conversion of the goddess Tserinma. Milarepa is singing to Tserinma and her companions. He reminds them that they had caused the demon army to harm him. He points out that he had not been frightened. By merely seeing you, poor sinful beings, an unbearable compassion, quite beyond control, rose of itself within me. The demons, by evoking compassion, have helped him achieve one of the highest Buddhist virtues. Milarepa's benign attitude towards his own demons points to wisdom and a sense of peace. Tibetan Buddhism developed a whole spectrum of demons that become real and alive as they reflect varieties of badness and their opposite types of goodness. When destroying or neutralizing evil and replacing it with good, Milarepa adapts his methods to the nature of the evil, as he describes in the conversion of a dying Buddhist. For the absence of self-awareness, he offers self-renunciation. To cleanse clinging to self and egotism, he makes altruistic offerings. He performs a dance called the voidness of mental functions to nullify habitual thinking. He advocates responsibility for destructive feelings by acknowledging fire-like angry demons and poisoning them with the wisdom of void. Milarepa instructs his listeners to go beyond acknowledging destructive feelings, to eliminate them by generating virtues such as wisdom and compassion. He himself is prepared to do the ultimate, offer his body as ransom for mankind, as a way to clear the debts and bad karma he accumulated in his early life.